Are you worried about getting a DMCA strike against your Twitch channel? Concerned about being randomly banned for some wind sound effect in World of Warcraft? Well, worry no longer, because Big Papa Twitch has your back.
Not.
What's up guys, my name is Graham and I run this YouTube channel where I like to talk about anything in the games industry which happens to catch my eye. And today, Twitch are on my radar. Why, you ask? Well, it's not just because I stream over at www.twitch.tv/GrahamPlays. You should totally fucking check it out. Oh man, I fucking can't help but laugh every time I do that. I want to talk about Twitch because they sent me an email. Yes, an email, an electronic mail. Not just any email, this email was a proclamation. Yes, it was a proclamation from Twitch that they had reached an agreement with the National Music Publishers Association, otherwise known as the NMPA, to, quote, build productive relationships between Twitch and music publishers. Why is this noteworthy, you may say? Well, let me tell you. Well, up until under a year ago, maybe around the beginning of 2020, streamers had largely been free to do whatever the fuck they wanted with regards to music and sound on Twitch, without worrying about proper licensing or any of that old boring bureaucratic bollocks. Basically, Twitch and the streamers on the platform have been skating by largely due to the fact that the old fogies that run the music industry hadn't realised that live streaming was a thing and hadn't realised that everyone on the platform was taking the absolute piss playing whatever licensed, copywritten music they wanted. However, this era came to an apocalyptic end when, around the start of the year as I said, live streaming seemingly became big and loud enough that it woke the sleeping giant that was the music industry. Furious at the flagrant disregard for copyright laws that was occurring, and at Twitch for failing to take any steps to control such, the music industry hurled a tsunami of DMCA claims Twitch's way. These DMCA claims are essentially notifications issued by the owner of a piece of media, in this case normally music or some form of sound effect, stating that they believe the thing they own is being used illegally, in other words without the proper license being obtained. This usually comes with a request that the offending piece of media be taken down or removed, muted, something like that to actually abate the breach. Consequences for being in breach of DMCA involve having the relevant section of your VOD muted, having the whole VOD taken down, getting a copyright strike issued against your channel, 3 of which mean a permaban, or you could even be sued by the rights holder personally. I won't go into all the details here because this video would be fucking 700 hours long, but suffice to say this period for Twitch was a complete shit show. The very, very short version is that basically Twitch gave everyone a deadline by which they were to delete any content on their channel which contained any sound or music that they didn't own the rights to. A lot of people did that, but then still received DMCA strikes and bans for content that they had deleted, despite Twitch's assurances to the contrary. In addition, and perhaps most notably, people weren't just being punished for particularly egregious breaches of DMCA, such as playing Spotify with chart music blasting throughout your whole stream. They were even being punished for things like in-game sound effects, in-game menu music, that sort of more obscure shit. As I joked about in my intro, there was even one example where a streamer received a DMCA strike for some random wind sound effect in one area of World of Warcraft. It transpired that Blizzard had licensed this sound effect from some third party, and it was that third party that had issued the DMCA claim against them. Now that streamer has absolutely no way of knowing that one random sound effect has been licensed, and therefore has absolutely no way of knowing that he was in breach of DMCA, but is still equally at risk of getting his channel banned as big streamer whoever, fucking 20k Andy who's sitting blasting Kanye for 8 hours a day or some shit. The end result of this was everybody was fucking super pissed at Twitch and wanted them to do more to protect streamers against DMCA. So, you see, it's for all these reasons that when Twitch emails me and says that they've reached an agreement with the NMPA that I stop and take note. I thought, is it finally over? Can I now stream games without worrying about getting randomly banned because of some fucking bizarre fart sound effect? Well, based on the content of this email, maybe, kinda, sorta, perhaps not. Why don't we dive into the email and take a look for ourselves. So, Twitch begins with, we're excited to announce that we've entered into an agreement with the National Music Publishers Association, brackets NMPA, to build a productive partnership between Twitch and music publishers. Yes, I've already said that. Okay, time is money, let's move on. As part of this agreement, we want to let you know about a new process that we are creating that participating music rights holders can opt into to report certain uses of their music, which is more flexible and forgiving to creators who inadvertently or incidentally use music in their streams than the existing process required under the DMCA and similar global laws. Holy shitballs, that is a long sentence. That took me about fucking 10 takes to say. Dear Twitch, please fucking make your emails more readable. At a high level, this new process, which is distinct from DMCA, focuses on going forward flagrant uses of music and starts with a warning instead of penalties. Now, when a participating rights holder reports the use of unauthorised music on a creator's channel, the following will occur. Number 1. Similar to DMCA, we have a team that will review reports and check for completedness. Unlike DMCA, Twitch will give creators a chance to course correct by first issuing a warning. Twitch will remove any VODs and clips that contain unauthorised music from the creator's channel. If a live stream involves one of several specified flagrant music uses, examples include rebroadcasting music concerts and broadcasting pre-release tracks, Twitch may also issue a warning or penalty depending on the creator's history of that kind of music use. And that's kind of the end of the important part, to be honest with you. Twitch goes on to say here that this new process does not change how music can be used on Twitch. As we've said consistently, it's never okay to include music in your channel unless you've secured the necessary rights. I don't know why I'm doing this voice, but I guess I am, so I'm just going to stick with it. Doing so violates the rights of music creators and runs counter to Twitch's mission, supporting all creators, fucking blah blah blah, whatever, I'm bored now. So, with that out of the way, what do I actually make of this? What is my opinion? Do I think anything is going to change? Well, the first thing that jumps out to me about this is that Twitch note that rights holders can opt in, meaning that they're not actually obligated to pay attention to Twitch or their bullshit little agreement, and can presumably just crack on and issue DMCA claims as the standard process is. Anyway, with some degree of fairness to Twitch, DMCA is an actual law, so Twitch can't prevent music rights holders from pursuing DMCA claims if they so choose, although they could do more to give streamers a way of actually complying with DMCA, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. That's kind of spoiling the whole point of my video, but it was always going to be opt-in. Twitch can't force music rights holders to subscribe to their agreement, basically. What is interesting though is that Twitch don't go into any specifics in terms of how many music publishers, record labels, etc. they've got on board or expect to get on board with this. So we're not really sure whether this is going to be like a Facebook situation where most of the major record labels are in bed with Facebook, or if this is going to be like, yeah, we've got these two and a lot of these smaller ones, but a lot of the big ones are still doing what the fuck they want. So it remains to be seen how effective this agreement actually is in terms of its impact. Then, even assuming rights holders opt in, let's just re-examine the process that's going to happen again. So basically what happens is Twitch have a team that review the reports. They'll then remove any of the offending content from your channel, and they might give you a warning or they might give you a penalty depending on how they feel on that particular day. That's just the fucking same as DMCA. That's exactly the same fucking process. The only difference is that you might get a warning, Twitch might not even bother giving you a warning depending on how you read the wording, or you might still get a strike anyway depending on what their subjective review determines. That's just DMC. That's just the process that we already have, with the exception that they've added in some warning stage. Another thing that concerns me about this is it relies on a lot of subjectivity on Twitch's part. You're relying on them to actually review each individual case fairly and in a balanced way and reach a fair conclusion, which, based on their track record, I'm not convinced I entirely have faith in them to do so. In fact, I have very little fucking faith in them to do so. Depending on how Twitch feel that day, you might still get a penalty, by which I assume they mean a strike, if they consider your misuse to be flagrant, or if they look at your history and say you've had a lot of these. They give a couple of rather extreme examples here, like broadcasting a live concert or effectively leaking unreleased music. My concern is that this is open to a lot of interpretation, and I would have liked to have seen some more real world examples, like what happens if you play menu music in a game without realising that that is a licensed song that's going to play, and what happens if this is, say, the third time you've done it because you've played a couple of similar games where similar things happen. Is that history that's deemed severe enough to warrant a penalty, or is that still inadvertent or incidental and you'll skate by? I don't know. It's open to a lot of interpretation. There's a lot of subjectivity involved, and I do not have faith in Twitch to apply that fairly. That said, if rights holders opt in, and if Twitch can actually administer this process fairly, it might help. It might at least make it so that some channels that would have been unfairly banned before might not be banned now. It could make no difference at all. I'm not holding my breath, to be honest, but you never know, it might actually work. In my view, however, there's still one big problem here that remains unresolved, and for me it's really the sort of crux of this whole issue that Twitch have failed to address at all, and that is that even if this process works flawlessly, even if you don't end up being punished for incidental breaches of DMCA, you still lose your content. Your VOD still gets deleted, your streams still get taken away from you, and everything that you did during that, fucking 8, 12, 16, whatever crazy hours you stream for period, is just gone, basically. And that for me is kind of the worst part of all this. Like, yeah, if you're sitting playing fucking Kanye on Spotify on your stream, you deserve to be punished. Like, you're a fucking moron. You deserve to be punished. But if you're playing a game on Twitch, and you don't know and have no reasonable way of knowing that some wind sound effect is licensed and that you're actually breaching DMCA, you don't deserve to lose your whole fucking 8-hour stream because of that. And that's the part of all this that really gets me. And as I said, the reason for all this is because Twitch have yet to address the crux of this issue, and that is that there is no feasible way for a streamer on Twitch to actually reasonably comply with DMCA. There's no reasonable way on Twitch for someone to actually go out and obtain whatever licenses they might need to play music, to play sound, and actually actively protect themselves against it, rather than retrospectively just hoping you don't get punished. And let me explain in a bit more detail what I mean. So, to detect unauthorised uses of music and sound, rights holders aren't employing people to sit and go through streams and look through YouTube videos and all the rest of it. It's done by essentially internet scraping bots that crawl over the internet and look for code, signals, whatever, that match up with the rights holder that they're being employed by's thing. And when the bots find that, they then check to see whether there's any evidence of the relevant license being purchased, and if there's not, they record it as a potential breach. On YouTube, if you want to cover a song or whatever, which is, a popular thing that's done on YouTube, you can go out and buy the license to cover and distribute that song, and then you're given a sort of unique code to embed in the description of your video or whatever, so that when the bots come crawling, they detect the song, they also detect the code and go, that person's purchased the rights, we won't issue a claim against them. In the live streaming space, Facebook struck a massive deal with a lot of major record labels that basically allow all their partner streamers to more or less play whatever the fuck they want on their streams, with rare exception. But nothing similar at all exists on Twitch, nothing at all, and they've shown no plans, and through the tone of this email, it doesn't sound like they're going to show any plans to try and implement something like that. So my particular issue with this is that whilst Twitch may be not punishing me, and I stressed the word maybe there, Twitch may be not punishing me for accidental breaches of DMCA, is a step in the right direction. What I actually want is for them to give me some way to reasonably comply with DMCA, so that I don't randomly get my VODs taken off me for some stupid sound effect that I didn't know was licensed. Because to me, that is still a punishment, and an unfair one, really. To take it a bit further, as it is right now, I could actually go out and buy literally every music license, every sound license that is in existence. If I had the money and the resources, I could go out and buy fucking everything. But there's still no way on Twitch for me to actually tell rights owners that I've bought all of this stuff. There's no way for me to signal to them that I own these things. So even if I did go out and buy all that stuff, a report's still going to get filed to Twitch because I have no way of showing my license. Twitch are still going to receive the report, review it, take your VOD down, and I'm then still going to need to go through the process of arguing, no, I have the license, please can I have my content back, and going through all that fucking hassle. So it's for that reason that I think Twitch can put in whatever sort of mitigating steps that they want and whatever mitigating processes they want, but until they actually give people a reasonable way of complying with DMCA proactively, it's just going to keep being a problem. It's just going to keep being a problem. We're going to keep talking about it. Maybe not constantly, but I guarantee you in another few months there'll be some other controversy about it because some publisher won't go along with Twitch's agreement, or someone will get banned for something that they deem as being incidental but Twitch thinks was flagrant, and we'll just keep talking about it until you give people a way to actually comply with the law. Yes, it was a proclamation from Twitch that they had reached an agreement with the NMPA, otherwise known as the National something or other. I haven't actually fucking written it down here. Something to do with music? Let's Google it. Furious at the flagrant. Flagrant? That's quite hard to say. Furious at the flagrant. Furious at the... Furious... fucking can't even say it now. Furious at the oh, shit. Okay. Aha! Furious at the flagrant. I feel like Sean got a furious shot the flagrant. Furious at the fuck, it takes me like 4 attempts to just get that fucking one line right. Furious at the fuck. Oh, it's fucking gonna be the outtake section at the end of the video. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Furious at the flagrant. Furious at the flagrant.